I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to this evening's meeting, this very hot Tuesday evening of July 18, 2023. This is the 12th meeting of the Board of Directors of 2023. We'll begin with an invocation by Mr. Wallace Yamauchi, and I'll lead the pledge. All rise.
Our Father God in heaven, all glory and honor to your holy name. We are thankful for the day you have given us and pray your presence and your blessings over this meeting as this day soon comes to a close. We pray for our mayor, our directors, our city manager, and all others in leadership or support roles as together they attend to the business before them tonight. We pray for wisdom and integrity as they consider and make decisions on these resolutions and any other business that should be addressed. And we pray beneficial conversations with and from our guests tonight. Thank you for hearing our prayers. Thank you for your mercies, your compassion, and any favor you would grant us. In the name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now call this meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Director Aaron Holliday.
Here.
Director Phyllis Beard.
Present.
Director Marcia Dobbs-Smith.
Here.
I'm noting that Director Webb is joining us via Zoom, but he will not be present on the roll call. Director Karen Garcia.
Here.
Director Steve Trusty.
Here.
Mayor Pat McCabe.
Here. And as the city clerk indicated, Director Dudley Webb is joining us via Zoom. He is, according to the rules in which we operate by, able to participate in discussions, but is unable to make a motion or a second to a motion. So at this time, we'll consider the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda or items to be moved from consent agenda to new business?
Motion to approve the agenda.
We got a motion to approve by
Second.
Director Trustee, second by Director Garcia. All in favor of the agenda as presented signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Agenda is approved. At this time, we'll consider the approval of the minutes of the regularly scheduled meeting of July 5th, 2023. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Director Holliday, seconded by Director Dobbs-Smith. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Recognition of guests. We have a very special guest here this evening, and I'd like to call Ms. Ann Kendrick to the podium. We have a special proclamation that we're providing Ms. Kendrick. Whereas Americans with Disabilities was signed into law on July 26, 1990 by President George H.W. Bush, who stated, and with today's signing of the landmark Americans with Disabilities Act, every man, woman, and child with a disability can now pass through once closed doors into a bright new era of equality, independence, and freedom. And whereas the Americans with Disability Act protects people with disabilities from discrimination in economic and civic activities. And whereas, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 4 U.S. adults has a disability that affects major life activities. And whereas disability rights are civil rights from voting to parking, the ADA is a law that protects people with disabilities in many areas of public life. And whereas Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg states one of the most basic things you need to thrive is the ability to get to where you need to be. And whereas July 26 is known as National Disability Independence Day, and whereas Hot Springs ADA parking advocate Ann Kendrick voluntarily commits her time to enable the equality, independence, and freedom envisioned in the 1990 Act to be experienced by all Hot Springs residents and visitors. And now, therefore, I, Pat McKay, Mayor of the City of Hot Springs, on behalf of the entire Board of Directors, do hereby proclaim July 26, 2023 as Ann Kendrick Day in Hot Springs, Arkansas. A witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the city to be fixed on this 18th day of the Lord, 2023.
Mayor, you surprised me big time on that one. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Well, boy, this is a surprise. The whole thing was a surprise, and I thought, why me? I'm just a lowly citizen that couldn't find a parking place. Thank you for this. I don't have the words to say how much this means to me. I have thoroughly enjoyed this endeavor and working with the people that I do. Ms. Selman has been a champion and a true leader and just a wonderful lady, and has all the answers I need. And if she doesn't, she knows where to go find them. This truly is a collaborative effort. There's so many people who are a part of this that answer questions and graciously do so. Give me information. I have met with Chief Harvington and have had some discussions on where we might be going, and I'm proud to say that I think we're heading the right direction. I'm truly at a loss for words here. I would like to say to you that my position in this is just sort of a point person. I contact the leasing agent or the person that owns the property and tell them what we'd like to do. And I think that I've made some progress in the fact that they are getting committed. They call back and ask me how we're doing. Have we made progress? And they seem to be committed to what we're doing as well. And they're taking this to their own cities and beginning to try to work toward things. So that makes me feel very proud and make me feel proud of Hot Springs doing what they're doing. Thank you so very much. I've got friends here that have supported me and came to support me tonight. But there's one person I'd like to say thank you to more than anything. She keeps me, other than Kathy on the job, this person keeps me straight and keeps me committed and understands my commitment and my passion for this, and always makes sure that I'm headed in the right direction, and that's my daughter, J.B. Kendrick. Thank you for coming and being a part of it. She's a special lady. Thank you for this, and I appreciate you more than you know. I thank you.
Well, we certainly appreciate you, and what you represent is a person who stepped forward, said, I believe I can help in this area. You're one person, one voice, but it affected you and it was important to you, and so for all of the rest of us out there, there is always an opportunity to serve, and you all have talents, and we just have to bring those talents forward. So
I
thank you
appreciate
very
this.
much.
Thank you so very much, all of you.
At this time, we'll hear from our city manager for the city manager report. Mr. Burrow.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. First, I'd like to start off by acknowledging and recognizing Karen Scott, our finance director, and all of our finance staff. They recently, the Government Finance Officers Association, presented them with the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award presented to the City of Hot Springs for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023. This certificate of recognition for budget preparation was sent to us on July the 14th, so that's a heavy lift, especially within our first year here and the first budget. So, you know, I just want to congratulate you and your staff. That's a big undertaking. Thank you. The Hot Springs Police Department is hosting its second annual Overdose Response Conference, formerly known as the Police and Peers Conference, on August 1st and 2nd of 2023 at the Hotel Hot Springs. Speakers will come from all over Arkansas to address how law enforcement and recovery professionals are working together to fight the opioid epidemic and save lives. We'll also be having free Narcan training. That will take place on Monday, July the 24th at the Hot Springs Police Department at 12 p.m. Those that are interested in attending that and reserving a seat, there is limited seating, so if you're interested, please call and reserve a seat. You can reach them at 501-321-6789, extension 7724, 6789, extension 7724. I really want to brag on the animal services. I've done this at a couple of meetings ago, I think, but they are doing some fabulous work at our animal services department. The City of Hot Springs Animal Services Facebook page is bustling with activity. Citizens all over Hot Springs, Garland County, and even the surrounding areas have noticed. In the department's July 11th Animal Control Advisory Committee meeting, staff noted that since April 15th, they've received more than 2,000 new followers on Facebook. In the last 3 months, Animal Services has participated in 79 reclaims, 343 adoptions, 42 rescues, and 494 microchips. These valiant efforts are due to the hard work and perseverance of our Animal Services Director, Lieutenant Leanne Zahner, and Coordinator Faith Wetzler, and really the entire Animal Services crew. In June, the Hot Springs Police Department's monthly report indicated that out of 146 animal intakes, Animal Services adopted, rescued, or reclaimed 142 animals. It's 142 out of 146 that came into our center. This is the first and certainly the closest in recorded history for the department that Animal Services has gotten in their attempts to empty the shelter. So anytime you can almost get to that one-for-one intake and rescue or reclaim, it's a huge endeavor, and just really appreciate what they're doing over there. It's something that takes a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and a lot of programs, and they're doing a wonderful job. Entergy Park was voted the best park in the recent Sentinel Record Annual Reader's Choice Awards. The other finalists were Cedar Glades Park and Garvin Woodland Gardens. We're fortunate to have several great parks in our area, and we're honored that Entergy Park was one of those selected as the best park. And if you're not enjoying Entergy Park, take advantage of one of the other 19 parks that the City of Hot Springs has to offer. I see Chief Harvington's in the audience. On July 13th, officers from the Hot Springs Police Department and Garland County Sheriff's Office waited tables at Longhorn Steakhouse to raise funds for the Special Olympics of Arkansas. These participants raised more than $7,000 that night. Chief Harvington wanted to extend his thank you to all those that participated and attended the events, and I want to thank you and your officers and all of our deputies that showed up and did that remarkable job. Last couple of items is, sadly, on July 17th, Corporal Brandon Jones and the Hot Springs Police Department, as well as all of us, mourn the loss of our K-9 officer, Keena, who was retired. She served the Hot Springs Police Department from 2011 through 2019. During her retirement, she was loved by many and was part of the Joneses family. Jones stated she was the best partner and best police K-9 that anyone could ask for. She will definitely be missed. So all of our thoughts are with our force. These K-9 officers, they really serve a wonderful purpose within our community, and it is tough when you raise them, train them, and work with them for the number of years that Corporal Jones did. I know it's a huge loss for him, so our thoughts are with him. Last two items. The intake, Miss Elaine finally made it out of the mountain. We got through that mountain. You know what? I was a little skeptical, but always optimistic that we'd get there. We did have some challenging times when we kind of hit the middle and we started running into things like quartz, granite, and several other hard rocks that had them retooling the machine. Several times I think we had the pipe go in and back out about 8 times. Every time we took that out, each stick when we went back in had to be re-welded. And that's a 24/7 job to re-weld those. So Really proud of Michaels and the group they have out there, but we have reached the end, so the intake is coming to a closure soon. We'll be able to get in the lake in August and take it out and start putting our intake screens in. So really proud of the staff that has worked with Michaels, and that is a huge achievement. And then the last item is Hot Springs Board Director Aaron Holliday, District 1. And our City of Hot Springs Planning and Development Planner Don Sweet Dobbs earned their Certified Arkansas Planning Official certification from the Arkansas chapter of the American Planning Association in partnership with the Arkansas Public Administration Consortium. So they received their APAC award and or certification. So congratulations to you, and we'll pass that on to Don as well. So big achievement. Mayor, that'll conclude my report.
Very nice. Thank you very much. This time we'll consider the consent agenda. These items on the consent agenda are, upcoming events. Let's talk about upcoming events. Director Garcia, you have an upcoming event to announce.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. I've been asked to announce that the Giving Team will have a number of resources available Saturday between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. at the parking lot across from the former Habitat Humanity Restore by the food truck court. And that's at the corner of Church Street and Malvern Avenue. And there will be, this is for anyone coming in the public, there will be clothing and toiletries available. The Housing Authority is one that's there. A lunch will be provided. There'll be veteran support, and there will be family food bags to take home with you, in addition to the lunch that will be provided. And this is National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, and there will also be people from Ouachita Behavioral and Wellness, along with a number of other resources that you can attend between 10 and 1 and take advantage of these resources, as they'll be there free. And the lunch is being provided by J.M. Langston Lodge number 84 in Hot Springs. Thank you.
Very good. Any other announcements by directors? Hearing none, we'll move on. Again, the consent agenda is our next action item. These are of a routine nature that do not merit individual discussion. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Director Garcia.
So moved.
Director Garcia made the motion, seconded by Director Trustee. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is adopted. We have two action items this evening remaining. They're both ordinances, and we'll begin with ordinance O-23-16, and I'll entertain a motion to read by title only.
So moved.
Director Trustee, seconded by Director Garcia. I have a motion and a second to read by title only. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Council, please read by title.
Ordinance O-23-16, an ordinance authorizing a contract for services with High Impact Movement, Inc., pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated Section 1458-104, subsection 18, and for other purposes. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would, entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion to adopt. Director Garcia, seconded by Director Trustee.
Mayor, if I may, I need to recuse myself from this item, please.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our staff report will be provided by Deputy City Manager, Mr. Lance Spicer. Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yes, this evening we have a proposed contract with High Impact Movement Incorporated. They are a 501c3 nonprofit. This will be, the proposed is the third year of the contract that we've had with High Impact Movement. The contract is a $100,000 contract. This one's a little unique in that it's spread out over 2 budget years. The current year that we're in now is January 1 to July 31st. That's the $35,000 portion of it. And the proposed right now will carry that contract from August the 1st until July 31st of 2024, and that is the $65,000 portion. So that's kind of the unique part of this particular contract, is that it's spread out over 2 years. $65,000 portion of the proposed contract would be part of the board's upcoming 2024 budget discussions. But a little bit about the HIM program. Of course, HIM, they provide life skills and educational programs to youth and teenage individuals. It's an open enrollment program. Really, all it takes is someone from the school, their family, to essentially reach out and want to get them involved in the programs. It is kind of the offerings of it. It's twofold. It's an after-school program as well as a summer program that offers several different services. And I do know we have Mr. Amos Gray here to kind of talk a little bit more about some of the deliverables. The contract performance itself deals with academic achievements, attendance, and behavior reports. So really those are some of the three main components of the overall contract. But as stated, this is the proposed third year of this particular contract. HIM is actually located there on Belding Street, the old former Boys and Girls Club. It's currently the Champion College Center now. They also have some leased property from the Hot Springs Advertising Promotion Commission. They're on the corner of Carson. I believe that's where they do some of their life skills training as well. Lease, it's a no-cost lease, but except HIM does pay insurance and the upkeep of the building, utilities, etc. Within your packet, there was some information that was provided later that deals with their profit and loss statement. Obviously, the $100,000 contract portion from the city, that is a majority of their funding. But of course, we do have Mr. Gray here if you have any specific questions that you'd like to ask him. But other than that, that concludes the presentation.
Very good. Mr. Gray, would you like to come forward and just kind of give us a overview of your accomplishments?
So, first of all, thank you guys for allowing me to be here. Amos Gray, District 2. High Impact's been with Hot Springs now for about 5 years, and we've done a lot in 5 years. We've reached a lot of kids, we've impacted a lot of families, and we've built a staff, and we're continuing to strengthen our board and even our finances. And for that, you know, I can't say enough about you guys for kind of being that foundation to kind of kick us off. But as you can see, our deliverables, we're meeting our deliverables. I mean, we're blowing them out of the water. I was even telling Lance, we might need to kind of change these up a little bit so that we can, you know, because we're killing it, guys. I mean, and it's not us, it's our kids. It's our kids. We got some amazing kids. And all they needed was a little push, a little help, a little encouragement. And we're seeing the growth. Even with our academics, I mean, you see there, we went from a 1.75 with our 9th graders last year to 3.3. That's unheard of. Now, some of that has to do because some of those kids didn't come back, all right? They didn't come back. Some of them, but more came. And so we were able to really continue to encourage those kids who stayed to build up their grades, to continue to strengthen their character. And that's what we want. When we first started this thing, we just wanted kids off the street. We want the shooting to stop. I think we're doing a pretty good job, City Manager. I think we're doing a pretty good job. And so I just want us to know that the work that we're doing is growing. We have attained the ESSER grant from Arkansas State. We're in our last year with them. And then we probably just got one of the biggest educational grants for any nonprofit, any school can get, and that is the 21st Century Grant, Community Learning Center grant. And that was at $150,000. We went to the training, and the director said, hey, listen, we were looking at you guys' paperwork and your programs, so we're going to give you a raise. So she bumped it up to $200,000. So the people are seeing what's going on here in Hot Springs. They're seeing what this little organization is doing. They're seeing how we're partnering with the city, partnering with other people in the community, and they're wanting some of it. Howard County, we got talks going in Howard County, over in Mineral Springs. We got talks still in Malvern, got talks in Little Rock now. People want to know how are we doing what we're doing, and how are we partnering with our city to do it. And so we just want to continue to do that work. And you know, I can't say enough about my staff. Brought on an assistant director, Ken Merriman. Can you stand up? Ken Merriman, brought him on last year. He was actually a parent in our program, and I was cleaning the gym one day, and he came in and he started cleaning, so I hired him. You know? but he has come on to be one of my fabulous friends, as well as somebody who walked beside me, strengthening our staff to really help our staff to understand the vision and the purpose of what we're doing, and that is to engage, equip, empower, and expose young people to their future. And then our board. That's one of the things I've been really working on, how to strengthen our board. And we've done that, and we're continuing to do that. We have 3 of our board members here today. Laura Erickson, she's a new board member that came on this year. Dr. Bill Allison, Vice President out at National Park, he is my board chair. And then Pastor Douglas Jones Jr., he's on our board. Then we have a new board member that's coming on, Mr. Les Warren. You guys know him, right? So he's coming on next month to strengthen it even more. And so we're really pleased about that direction, and we're continuing to work on things, working on our strategies, working on our finances to try to continue to tighten those things up so we can be the very best we can be. And that is our goal, is to be the best provider for young people, and not only in Southwest Arkansas, but the entire state. And so I believe we can do that here in Hot Springs and take that wherever we want to take it. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
Yeah, I do.
Director Trustee.
Thank you, Mayor. Amos,
Yes, sir.
great job. I mean, the results do sort of speak for themselves, and so we want to thank you for that. When is your fiscal year end?
So our fiscal year ends December 31st.
So it's calendar year?
Yes, it's
Okay,
calendar year.
Calendar year.
Yeah.
Do you have the December 31, 22 tax return? Do you have the balance sheet, income statement? I know you sent us some.
Yeah.
Lance
We're
forwarded that
working
today.
on that, Director Trustee. Actually, my bookkeeper is working on that right now as we speak.
Okay.
And then Mike, our accountant, is working on our getting our taxes done for that year. So we'll have that to you directly. We'll have that to you.
Okay.
Any additional questions? Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did we have anybody, Harmony, sign up to speak on this?
No, sir.
Any discussion amongst directors?
Yeah, we've got.
I just.
Director Garcia?
Support of this, it's gotten statewide recognition. We saw it on, I believe, Channel 7 and Channel 11, both in Little Rock have done stories and been down here and talked to the children and talked to the parents as well as staff and showed what they were doing in the improvements. And we care about these kids, and they're our future. And I really stand by the great job they're doing and wholeheartedly support this program.
Very good.
I have
There's
one-
no other Director
I have
Trustee.
one more. Bill, should we get this on where it's a calendar year contract instead of coming due in July 31?
Well,
August 1 to July 31.
You know, we've struggled with that since
Right.
we've entered into the agreement. We always budget 100,000 for the year.
Right.
But the way that falls with the contract, because it's more set on that school year than a calendar year. I'm sure we can look at that and get that set, but you know, it's kind of weird because the first part of the year we're finishing up about $35,000, and then we've got, maybe I got that backwards.
Yeah,
We have one of
65
them, yeah, 65, and then we
next
got
year.
35 in the upcoming year. So it's always contingent on the board passing the 2024, in this case, budget. whether we'll fund the rest of the contract. So, I mean, I think we can write it that way, but in the past, it was written this way because of the basically the school year and being able to get the deliverables that are in the contract.
Well, and they're on a calendar year for accounting too, so I think it would just be cleaner if we could get it all together at some point, whether it's try to get it funded through December 31 of this year, and then consider the full allocation in the 2024 budget and put that on calendar year, because that's when they're not a fiscal year anymore, they're calendar year. And so that's what it showed on the tax returns and all.
Well, and you know, it's 100,000 to the city either way we do that.
That's
It's still
right.
100,000
That's
each
right.
year, so I don't
That's
see an
right.
issue with it. But we did kind of have it broke down in the way we paid that, because I think the remainder of the money didn't come till after we were able to see the deliverables. But we'll be glad to set that up. B will probably be the one that has to write the contract. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it either. Just keep in mind that, you know, at the beginning of the year, if you renew it for '24, you're going to be looking at the same deliverables that he just gave you
Right.
for the first, or for the second half of '23.
Director Garcia?
We have a number of contracts that are split. We just approved some at our last few meetings that it's based on our budget, but a lot of our annual supply contracts are part of this year and part of next year. But regardless of what we do, it has to be within budget.
So, I really like that conversation. We have been wrestling with that a lot, and even with the reporting. And so, yeah, if we can continue to work on that piece, that would help me out a lot, because the contract states, 4 months prior to the close of fiscal year, and so that in our minds, that's all we've ever done. So, if we can just nail that down, that would help out a lot.
Will we consider the budget at the November meeting?
You will.
That's the plan, right?
Yeah, if we get it together in front of you, but that's the
Okay.
plan, is to always have it by the second meeting of November.
Okay.
Try to get it on the first meeting, but sometimes we'll have some changes that need to come back, and then we'll finalize it on that second meeting. But usually in November, you'll approve your budget.
Well, I'd like to see us have Mr. Gray back in November and talk about deliverables if we need to adjust those. You'll have your tax returns for '22 by then. He'll have his statements, and we can look at it in totality. But I certainly agree with Director Garcia. I wholeheartedly support the program. I just want us to be fiscally sound.
But what we may need is just, how do we pay that? Is it 25,000 a quarter? Because right now we've kind of got it set up to where they're kind of lumping in a different way. So, but we can do that.
Yeah, I really wanted to sit down, and I forgot something, you guys. So one of the moves that we're making, is that I've been doing a lot of the work within the overall organization, and we've reached a point now where we had to bring on extra staff. And one of the staff areas that we had to bring on is another director. And so this month we brought on a new executive director, Carol Gray. It's my wife, Carol. But not only that, even if she wasn't my wife, I would bring her on. She has 30 years experience of social work. She's an outstanding teacher. She's a adjunct professor at National Park. Mental health and psychology is her thing, and that's some of the things that our kids need. Mm-hmm. And so, and then she's an outstanding leader, and so she is coming on to be our executive director. Did you want to say anything to the people?
I'll keep it brief, I promise. I just really wanted to thank all of you, because without you initiating the first grant that you gave us, we wouldn't be in this position. So thank you, because these kids really mean a lot. So thank you very much.
Did you bring a student today?
I brought a parent. I brought a parent, and we're He ain't gonna talk. I can tell you.
All right.
Well,
Well, we were real close to getting a vote in, so you don't want to derail it. So let's call
but I
the,
do have a parent, Kawana Reed.
oh, parent, okay,
Kawana Reed is, I mean,
that's fine.
yeah.
Come on forward. Yeah, just,
is
ma'am,
Kawana
please
Reed.
speak into the mic so that,
I have actually 4 children that attend the program from ages 9 to 17. My twins initially started the whole thing. His daughter was their pre-K teacher. And I myself, between working, I was not able to pick my children up from school every day. So the teachers were helping me out. I mean, literally taking my children home with them until I got off from work. And she said, well, my dad just started this program. You know, you should try to enter your kids in the program. And at that time, they wasn't of age. So she said, well, I'll talk to him. We'll see. So he's kind of skeptical at first. He's like, well, we had, they're little. But then he later said, okay, well, we'll work with them. So I can honestly say, me personally, the HIM program has been a blessing for me. Not only with the transportation from the school to them being open until 6 o'clock to where I can get off at 4:30 and pick my children up from school. Not only that, but the leadership that they provide for the teenagers to try to keep them out of trouble. My biggest goal is to keep my children out of trouble. And that after-school program provides them with a safe place to go and things to do to stay out of trouble. So I would like to thank you all, myself personally, to help them achieve the goals that they have set for themselves, because the children are prospering. So I would like to say thank you.
very good. Well, thank you for coming forward and sharing that.
It's no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
So that's HIM, and so I hope you guys continue to consider us and continue to push us, and challenge us as we continue to serve the young people in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion amongst directors? Please call the roll.
Director Beard.
Aye.
Dobbs Smith.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Ordinance is adopted. Our final action item of the evening is to consider ordinance O-23-27, or excuse me, O-23-17. I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules to read by title only. Director
moved.
Garcia made a motion, seconded by Director Trustee. I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules to read by title only. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Council, please read by title.
Ordinance O-23-17, an ordinance establishing noise control for the city of Hot Springs, Arkansas, establishing a penalty, for violations, amending ordinance number 6392 and for other purposes. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would, entertain a motion, second to adopt.
Motion to adopt. Director Garcia, seconded by
Second.
Director Dobbs Smith. Council, our staff report will be provided by our city attorney, Mr. Brian Albright.
Mayor, members of the board, ordinance number 6392 provides for the regulations of noise within the city of Hot Springs. There is a new sound on the horizon. It's not swing, it's not jazz, it's more of a grunge noise that emits from locations that are engaged in digital data mining in particular. There has been a lot of discussion, both nationwide and statewide, regarding this potential noise pollution and the impact that it has on the surrounding property and the general health, safety, and welfare of individuals. I provided in your packet links to several articles, interviews, newscasts, recordings of the types of noise that emit from these types of locations. I hope that you all had an opportunity to review those. Also played one of them for you during your agenda meeting If you wish to hear that again, I'll give you an opportunity to put in your earplugs, and we can broadcast it over the speakers. Lately, the State of Arkansas General Assembly enacted Act 851. This particular act is referred to as the Arkansas Data Centers Act of 2023, and it becomes effective August 1 of 2023. The impact of the act on local government is that it will limit cities and counties' ability to regulate this issue as follows. Local government shall not enact or adopt an ordinance, policy, or action that limits the sound decibels generated from home digital asset mining other than the limit set for sound pollution generally. 2, impose a different requirement for a digital asset mining business than is applicable to any requirement for a data center. 3, rezone an area in which a digital asset mining business is located without complying with applicable state law and local zoning ordinances. Or 4, rezone an area with the intent or effect of discriminating against a digital asset mining business. The proposed ordinance, if it is adopted prior to August 1, 2023, would help to mitigate the potential unreasonable noise pollution detrimental to the surrounding property and the general health, safety, and welfare of individuals within the city of Hot Springs. In addition to addressing the impact that data centers and digital data mining businesses have on the area, the proposed ordinance also makes slight adjustments to the current maximum noise limits within the various zoning districts. That is primarily due to one of the restrictions that I mentioned earlier, that we not discriminate between home digital asset mining businesses.
Very good. Any
The-
questions?
Well, I'll give you, the decibel levels for this type of business is 65 during the day, 55 at night. That's 8 to 10 and 10 to 8. Similar for residential. Commercial goes up just a little bit, and it changes at 11 p.m. In C1, our traditionally entertainment areas in town, it's a little later and a little larger, but the decibel is always 60 at night.
Any questions of Mr. Albright? Okay, did we have anybody sign up to speak?
No, sir.
No? Discussion amongst directors? We do have an emergency clause on this, so after we vote, assuming it passes, we'll go right into emergency clause. So please call the roll.
Director Dobbs Smith.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee.
Aye.
Holliday.
Aye.
Beard.
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Ordinance is adopted.
Mayor, Section 13 of the ordinance is your emergency clause. Section 13, emergency declared. The Hot Springs Board of Directors finds that the immediate implementation of this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of the public's peace, health, safety, welfare, and property. An emergency is hereby declared to exist, and that this ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon its adoption. That concludes your reading of the emergency clause. If you would entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion to approve.
Director Trustee, second by Director Garcia. We have an emergency motion, and a second on the emergency clause. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Emergency clause is adopted. This concludes the business coming before the board this evening. I do understand we do have a public comment period immediately following the adjournment. But prior to adjourning, do we have any board directors' items for discussion? Any commentary, items for discussion? Mr. Burrow.
Mayor, on the dais, you'll see some green packets. Kathy's staff, Neighborhood Services, James Hardage and his group, he wanted you to see we're in the second week of our clean sweep in a pretty significant large area, but he wanted the board to know what's in the packets that we leave at every home that's in one of these clean sweep areas, as well as a flyer there that talks about a little deeper information into what they're doing. But these are the packets that every home receives when we go through the clean sweep areas. Kind of gives that first week we're notifying of anything that they may see. The second week, solid waste comes in and picks up any of the debris that they set out at no additional fee. Typically, things that you would find cleaning up around the house, the yard, whatever it may be. We also send street sweepers and all of those things, trying to really focus on that portion of the city. And then the third week, they go back and things that they had noticed, if they're not taken care of, then we'll go to another step, potentially a citation. So anyway, I wanted you to have that information, be able to see what each resident gets when they have that packet. It's a really good packet, very informative. So Mayor, I forgot to mention that in the beginning, so thank you for letting me state it now.
Yeah, no problem. I opened the packet up and there was a date that already went by. So we have other dates throughout the city?
We will. That first week is the date that we started. We're in collection week now, week 2. And then next week, we'll be going back through that area to follow up on any of the things that we noticed the week before. But we typically have 4 of these a year. They were pretty advantageous on this one. I think we picked up a little over 500 homes. Pretty big area. So we'll have a couple more before the year's out.
Very nice. Well, thank you. Any other comments from the board? Director Garcia?
If there are no other comments, I move we adjourn our business meeting.
Very good. We got a motion to adjourn, seconded by
Second.
Director Holliday. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned, but just give us a moment.